So I have arrived at the temple, the shrine area, and you can see the line for people waiting to pray. It starts all the way back at the entrance and goes up to the shrine. Probably take about 30 minutes to wait in this line. It's pretty average, not too long. I'm not gonna wait because, like I said, I already came with my family to another shrine and we already prayed, so there's no reason for me to do it today. But I'll still show you around what it's like. It has really cool architecture and statues and stuff like that. You can see a big statue of Zen Buddhism style of Buddha. Another staple at these events are these festival food stands. They always have the same type of food. Castera donuts, basically. What is this? French fries. Baked squid, or baked, I don't know. I really like these yakimanji. It's a type of bread made with, I think it's rice flour and a sweet miso paste. I always buy these when I go. My kids love chocolate covered banana and sweet boiled rice wine. All the alcohol is boiled out of it, so it's safe to drink and drive. What else is here? Yakisoba. I think most people probably know what yakisoba is, but it's very similar to lo mein, Chinese food, with soba noodles. Another really common thing, karaage. Probably most people know what this is as well, but it's just fried chicken, usually with thigh meat, so it's a lot of fat. Yeah, I've learned to like it since I've been in Japan. Originally I didn't like it so much, but now I do. I was more of a breast meat type of guy, not so much fat in my meat, but it's good once you get used to it. What else? Yakitori, not tori, but yakiniku, grilled meat. This is something sometimes I eat, but it took me a while to get used to it. You have to eat the salted fish that's been baking over this fire pit for a couple hours. I mean, it's okay. If you get into the belly area, sometimes you can get a lot of organ tissue, and I don't really like that very much, but it's good. If you know how to eat it, if you avoid those organy areas, the fish meat tastes good. Now there's actually a difference in Japan between Shinto shrine and Buddhist temple. A lot of places like here, they have both a Shinto shrine and a Buddhist temple. You can usually tell the difference between the temple and the shrine based on like what statues are in front of it. Like if you see lions or a lot of Buddhist statues in front of the building, that usually means it's a Buddhist temple. But if you see, like over here, more traditional Japanese style, or fish, or like oni, ashura type of statue, it usually signifies that it's a Shinto shrine. There's not so much of a difference, but I mean, most Japanese people don't really know the difference. I kind of had to research that on my own. But you can see here, this main building up here is it's a temple. I showed you that large Buddhist statue over there, and you can see a little bit smaller Buddhist statue here as well. It's a pretty nice altar. It's nicer than most that I've seen. Another custom a lot of people have is to buy these charms, I guess. They all have different purposes, and you can kind of tie them to your bag or hang them from the rear view mirror of your car. And I mean, it's not so different from, I guess, Catholic people getting things blessed at church or something like that. I don't know. I think it's more like just a good luck thing, but most people who buy them don't really believe that it has any effect. It's just kind of a fun tradition for them to do. They have much more expensive ones as well. They go up to Ichimango cent, which is about $100 right now. Obviously these you don't hang up, you put them in your house. It's supposed to give you good luck. It seems about the most expensive, $100. And in addition to that, you can buy, let's see if I can find one here. You can buy your fortune, which will tell you whether or not you're gonna, how much good luck you're gonna have this year. I can't find one right now. Once I find one, I'll play the video again. Here you can see, walking up to the Buddhist temple, just the really great landscaping and the architecture of these old buildings. I mean, even like I said, this is a really local shrine, but they're still really well maintained and manicured. Really, even if you go to these really tiny neighborhood shrines, it's still, everything is really well maintained and manicured. People take it very seriously, especially the older people who live around the area. They donate a lot of their time to maintain and upkeep the local shrine. It's very rare to find one that's in disrepair. But I guess, like we were talking about earlier, those $100 good luck sticks really help to pay for the repairs and upkeep that these places require. You can see the temple from the back. No, those are not swastikas, even though they look like swastikas. It is the universal sign for peace, and they're used in Japan to signify a shrine or temple area, so people from far away can identify. you can see a lot of people will leave money just in, I mean, if there's any kind of human-like statue like this, people will sometimes leave money. And once a couple people start doing it, then a lot of other people will do it as well. They don't really have any significance for leaving the money there. It's just like a good tossing a coin into a wishing well, I guess. It's not that these statues were specifically built so that people would leave money, but people just decided it was a good spot for it. This is the temple, or the temple that people were waiting for. You could see when I first started showing the beginning, there was the line. And once you get up to the entrance of the shrine, you ring this bell, gong, I guess, and say a prayer. There's a specific way you say a prayer too. I don't see people doing it here. Maybe we'll see somebody. They're not doing it correctly. This guy looks like he's gonna do it right. No? Nobody's doing it right. But I'm sure if you look up how to say a prayer at the shrine in Japan on YouTube or on Google, you can find a lot of tutorial videos explaining how to do it. But most people will clap twice, bow twice, say the prayer, and then bow one more time before they leave. I want to get a few wide angle shots of this building, so I'm gonna cut it here. Here's the bell. Usually made of copper. You can see from the patina on it. And the interesting woodwork. There's lots of detail if you spend a lot of time to look at all the little alcoves and corners of these buildings. They're really, really detailed. We don't have enough time to do that today, but here's the Torii Gate. Again, another famous image of Japan, I think. And you walk through the gate. You can see another little shrine, altar here. Yeah, I guess altar is the correct word, not a shrine. And again, some people just decided it's a good place to leave money for good luck. But all of these little different altars are supposed to be homes to different kami, or different gods. I don't know. You'd have to ask the leader of this temple which specific kami-sama is supposed to live here. I don't know. But you can see lots of these kitsune, fox statues here. So I'm assuming it has something to do with a fox. Kitsune. Yeah, it's just finding little detailed places like this, which are, to me, the most interesting. Of course, there's the main attraction, which is the big buildings that everybody's lining up for. But what I really like to do is just walk around and explore the places that most people aren't going to, because it's just so interesting to me that people take the time to maintain all these tiny little areas that almost nobody walks at and looks at. But still, people have pride in what they do in Japan. I think it's a very common characteristic, and I really appreciate that aspect of Japanese culture. You can see over here also a lot of tombstones where people have just a shrine, just a tombstone. Most people don't keep the ashes at the tombstone. Some people do, but for the most part it's just a memorial spot. And these little squares, different family members will be buried, well, not buried, I'm sorry, a tombstone will be put for different family members after they die. And that's one way that you can identify whether or not it's a Buddhist temple or a Shinto shrine. Because Shinto is a very old animistic religion, I guess. And most people, there's very, very few people in Japan who still consider themselves Shinto. Most people in Japan now are some form of Buddhist. So if you see something like this, where people are participating in current ceremonies, that usually means that it's a Buddhist place and not a Shinto place. But again, especially after World War II, a lot of the Shinto shrines were taken over by Buddhist religion, I guess, was taken over by the Buddhist religion, because Shintoism became associated with Emperor Hirohito. He was supposedly descended from the sun god in the Shinto faith, and they wanted to distance themselves from that, so they built a lot of Buddhist temples where previously there were only Shinto shrines, and kind of focused more on the Buddhist temple aspect of the area and let the shrines go by the wayside. And these days the shrines are well taken care of, but it's lost a lot of the stigma that it was associated with at the end of World War II. It's really, Shintoism is really just a part of historic Japanese culture, and it has very little impact on people's beliefs or non-secular ideas. Oh, I just found, I mentioned earlier, the omikuji, which is the yearly fortune that most people, not everybody, but most people get. It's a lot cheaper than those good luck tokens, those good luck amulets, where they usually cost about 100 yen to 500 yen. You can see these ones look like 500 yen, which is about $3.50, $4 right now with the current exchange rate. And it seems like these are 200 yen, 100 yen, pretty cheap. But inside of this, you pick out one, and you can't see what it says from the outside. But once you open it, there are at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 different fortunes that you can get. Some places break it down even further than that, up to 9. But they go from best luck, good luck, normal, and then a little bad luck, and the worst luck. And they tell you that basically at the top of the fortune. And then it gives you more detailed information, but it's very much like a horoscope. It's pretty generic information that could apply to a lot of different people. Things like, you're gonna deal with some sicknesses, so, stay positive, or you're gonna have opportunities with money this year, so make sure to stay open to opportunities around you, stuff like that. They're very, very generic. But I admit, even though it's so generic, I always buy them with my family, especially the kids. They really like the to see who gets the luckiest. And this year, me and my wife both got daikichi, which is the most lucky type that you can get. And none of my kids got it, so they were all upset. And my oldest daughter was actually crying. I don't know why. It really doesn't mean anything, but... And as long as you don't have daikichi, the luckiest fortune, you usually tie the fortune to a string like this. And they all get burned at the shrine. Now, some people don't tie them to these strings. Some people instead tie them to a tree branch somewhere in the temple grounds. I didn't see any here, so it seems like it's not that common of a custom at this particular shrine. But some shrines you can see all of the trees are just completely covered in these omikuji fortune papers. Oh, there's some interesting ones you can see here. Again, the kitsune fox face. Okay, well, that was a look at the New Year's tradition of visiting shrine in Japan. So I'm gonna buy some food for my family so they don't get mad at me coming here without them. I'll catch you guys later, okay? Thanks, take care.